Hey everybody, Chocolate Moruga 26 back here doing another review tonight. Tonight I kick off my series of reviews for Joyner's hot pepper powders. As you see before me, I've got 7 beautiful looking pods right here. He sent me, they're all in pristine condition, all look wonderful. So Chris, you grow some really good looking pods, buddy. But without further ado, I'm going to give you all a little overview of each pod here, and then we'll get to the first review. So, let me grab the camera here. Alrighty, so we'll start off up here. These both are Chocolate Moruga Scorpions. Now, as you can undoubtedly tell by the hugely varied pod shapes here, that this is not a stable strain. And Chris has said that himself, obviously. I mean, there's no denying it. It's not stable. I believe he got the seeds from Hicks's. It's H-I-X-S is their username off of the hot pepper forums. He himself said that this strain is not stable, but grows some really cool looking pods nonetheless. This is the one I want to be doing tonight. Really big fat pod. Look at the size of that thing. Huge. So moving on, we've got a 7-pot Rennie. It's another good decent sized pod right there, pretty good size. Nagamorch, which I love the Nagamorches, as you couldn't tell from my last video, or you could tell from my last video, I mean. We'll see how Chris's taste. If I remember correctly, yeah, he sent me a box. He sent me those in the box that he gave me last year, and his was a very good pod as well. This is a 7-pot SR strain. Now, he has a question mark on here, which I don't blame him, because this does not look like your typical 7-pot. But I've seen Ted the Fire Breathing Idiot do a 7-pot SR review that looks similar to this. But Neil of the Hippie Seed Company also did a review of a 7-pot SR that looked more like a brain strain, so I'm not sure exactly. Either way, this is what it's labeled, and it's what we'll go as, 7-pot SR. It's White Boot Jolokia. Now, I've had these before, and these are very good, so I don't expect this to be anything less. And then finally we got a brain strain. Now, if you all seen my previous reviews, I personally have not thought that brain strains are very hot compared to what everybody else says about them, so we'll see how this one stacks up. But again, I'm going to be doing this Chocolate Moruga Scorpion. Very good looking pod. So let me put the camera back up here. Now y'all see my ghetto rig that I've got right here to hold up, to prop the camera up. So yeah, there you go. Pop the camera back up here. Let me pull these pods out of the way. I'll cut it open, and I'll give you a shot of what it looks like on the inside. Chris has said it's okay for me to save some seeds, so I would like to save some seeds, especially for the chocolate varieties here. Very interested in those. We'll see how the heat stacks up to Judy's Brown Moruga Scorpion. And I believe Grant at junglerain.com, I believe he's selling Chocolate Moruga Scorpions as well. I don't know if his strain is stable or not. I'm not sure. But obviously, as you can see from these 2 pods, they are not. But let's cut this guy open, see what it looks like on the inside. Not a whole lot of seeds. Smells like a 7-pot. Not quite as strong as not quite as strong of a chinent smell as a boot or a naga. Very sweet smelling thus far. You can get the camera here, you all can take a look for yourselves. So you see, despite despite how it's shining in there, doesn't appear to be a whole lot of oil. And you can see not a whole lot of placenta. Let's have a look at this half here. A little bit more on this half. Let's get us to focus here. Come on, focus for me. No, it doesn't want to focus. If I move it closer. That's better. A little bit better. Yeah, so yeah, not a whole lot of seeds, so I'll pick off whatever seeds I see off here, just enough to make sure I do not damage the placenta, so we don't damage the integrity of the review. But just 1 second, guys, as I get a couple of seeds out here. back here. Not a whole lot. Yeah, there's 4 seeds. Let's pick up a couple more. Just get this one to come out. It'll be all good. Alright, about to just use my fingers here. Number one no-no for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm tired of doing it, messing with it. There we go. That's good enough. It's a good enough amount of seeds there. Let's see, the pod, no damage to the placenta. Looks good. Now again, all these come from Chris Joyner at Joyner's Hot Pepper Powders. I will have his contact info at the end of the review, as well as in the description of the in YouTube. Of course, obviously from the name of his company, he sells pepper powders, and I'm not sure if every single one of these varieties will end up in a powder, but he said that he only will do like for instance a Nagamorich powder, like for a tried and true strain. So hybrids like this you're probably not going to see in their own powder, but he said he may do like a chocolate variety powder where you could see a whole bunch of chocolate and brown varieties in one powder, which I think that would be a really, really good thing to do. So anyway, enough stalling. I am a little worried about this, because if this is like Judy's brown Moruga, then I'm going to be in a world of hurt, but so be it. I might have to eat this in 2 halves. What the heck, you want to see me stuff my mouth? Here I go. It's a mouthful. Very sweet. Very sweet. That's a really good flavor. Top-notch flavor right there. Ah, man, so much to chew. Wow, this is burning my gums. Very strange. I don't think I've had a pepper burn my gums. Got a whole lot stuck in my gums right now, so maybe that's why it's burning. Oh yeah, I can't say enough about that flavor. Much like any chocolate or brown Trinidad variety I've had, very sweet flavor, very fruity, not earthy like you expect out of a lot of browns, except for the Dukla. You all know how I feel about that, despise the flavor of that pepper, but I digress. This has an awesome flavor to it. Very, very, very good. Let's see. The heat right now is not very strong on my throat. It's mainly at the front of my mouth, at the sides of my tongue, getting under the salivary glands a little bit. Sorry, I got a seed stuck in my throat. Ugh, hate that feeling. It's not a very fast building heat. It is still building, but it's not terribly fast. But yeah, as far as a powder goes, that'd be really, really good. I would love this. I would love to have that kind of flavor in the powder. Eating that thing fresh is awesome as well, if you couldn't tell by how I was raving over the taste. Let's see. Still really mostly concentrated in the front of my mouth. A little bit of burn in the back of my throat as I keep swallowing a little bit more. It is making me salivate a lot, mainly probably because it's really up there on my salivary glands right now. Starting to feel it really rush back there. Getting a bit of an endorphin rush. Not a huge one yet. Let's see. Chris has also talked about that with a lot of these varieties that he will do a smoked versus and a non-smoked version. I don't know about you all, but I love smoked powders. I think that it just adds a whole new dynamic to the flavor. And so I definitely like to see this in a smoked powder too. Let's see. Not a huge burn thus far. Gotta say, it's not as hot as I expected it to be. Not to say it won't get there, but it is still building, but it's not insanely hot yet. Yeah, so no, it's not getting that hot. I think it's almost leveled off. It's just about there. Yeah. I was expecting this to be insanely hot, just because, you know, a lot of the, you know, most of the chocolate varieties have a level of heat higher than their red and yellow counterparts, and this, I gotta say, I don't think is as hot as the red Moruga Scorpion. It's hotter than the yellow Moruga Scorpion, but I gotta say it's not as hot as the red. If you all don't know, I'm actually gonna do an actual scale hotness and flavor on these reviews as well. I'm not gonna do them in the middle of the review because, excuse me, a lot of times when you're in the heat of a review, you know, you're feeling the pain going on. You're more inclined to give it a higher score than what it really should be. So, daggone it, seed. Anyway, so I want to wait until after the review, let the burn settle down, and that way I can kind of compare it to previous reviews and get an idea of exactly where the heat should be at. So inside the description, you'll see the heat and flavor rating, and as well in the closing credits I'll put the heat and flavor rating as well. But yeah, we've leveled off. It's not gone down just yet, although I've leveled off in my mouth and whatnot, but my stomach is starting to get a little bit of a burn. Not a huge burn by any means, but starting to get that. Tomorrow, or the next review, I will be doing Chocolate Moruga number 2. As you can tell, this looks like it's got more of a boot look to it. Still really cool nonetheless. When I first opened the box, I thought this was a chocolate boot Jolokia, but no, it's a Chocolate Moruga. Chocolate Moruga number 2. So he's labeled them out as different strains, which is understandable. Yeah, heat's going down now. Still a very good pod nonetheless, even if it wasn't a scorcher, but it was very, very good, very flavorful. Really enjoyed the flavor of that pod. So I will be back on again next time to do again this guy, Chocolate Moruga number 2. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this review and come back and watch the rest of them. Thanks.